Yo, welcome to the BWOMS podcast. We're back. So, if you're not in the know, let me help you get there. BWOMS is the Barbed Wire Open Mic series, and since 2007, we've been a platform for artists and writers in our region. My name is Richie Marrufo, and I am the current project director of this whole thing. We've been providing open mic spaces and venues all throughout the city over the years. And when we celebrated our 10-year anniversary, I decided to go ahead and make this platform bigger and create this online show, the BWOMS podcast. So the something 49 odd episodes before this one, it's a bunch of artist interviews. Writers, artists, filmmakers, entrepreneurs of all sorts, people that grew up here in El Paso, people that moved here and made it home, and people that I just found passing through. A lot of interesting people. And so now it's March 2020. You guys know what's going on. Things are happening. A lot of places are closed. I know a lot of people's livelihoods are at stake. And so it's kind of rough. These are tough times. I know social isolation can be kind of rough for a lot of people. But here's the thing. I know a lot of events are canceled and people still need to get things off their chests. People will always need to express themselves. So as I've already expressed in several different mediums, creating isn't canceled. So I'm taking this show and pivoting it, and this is going to become like an open mic space. I'm going to go ahead and be having people submit content, and a lot of people already have in the form of poetry. We have a lot of music. I will continue to take submissions for a good while, so I'm going to see how often I can get this show. So pretty much, like I said, it's a pivot what we are creating now. See, I don't like the phrase social distancing. You know, I get it. That's what we're all talking about. That's what a lot of people are really fighting for people to start doing. It's necessary, but I don't like the term. I saw a suggestion online, and I'm gonna go with it. All right, and so in lieu of that, we're gonna start calling it Spacious Solidarity. So with that said, this is going to be the BWOMS podcast, Spacious Solidarity edition. That's right. So it's gonna be like an open mic, obviously with no people. So it's gonna be more like a radio show. I'm gonna introduce the artist, say a couple of words, based on what I know from the artist or whatever they submit to me, and it's gonna be very eclectic, very, very eclectic. Maybe even more so than a regular open mic, because now people can submit who maybe have never had a chance to make it before, for whatever reasons. People from all across the globe are gonna be submitting content. We already have that. So guys, strap in wherever you're at. Sit back, kick back, and relax. We're bringing you the BWOMS podcast, live and direct. My name is Rich. I'm going to be your host. We'll kick things off. Yes, we're going to just jump right into it. First up, we're going to start with a crowd favorite, a perennial all-star of the El Paso literary scene. I've had the pleasure to work with her many times over the years in a variety of projects. And, I can't say this about too many people, but I have seen her take a crowded, loud room to absolute quiet because they wanted to hear what she had to say. And so it's an honor to start off the show with my good friend Celia Aguilar. This is her poem, Better Days.
It's almost 8, already running late, just trying to keep it together, always trying not to fall apart. Why can't I just get it together? Swear I've got good intentions in my heart. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. Whoa, oh, yeah, yeah. Some days it's hard to even move, so you lie in bed trying to activate sinews, and when you finally do, you catch the news. Another young life taken way too soon, so you sink right back into spiraling doom. You can't leave the room, it's so bright, but I feel dark inside. No moonlight tonight, still can't escape the tide. Emotions crash down like a cymbal keeping time, wishing I could rewind. Take the track back to a better line, where promise lives intact. There's more hope intact, we can subtract counterattacks, and love is not abstract, but more a matter of fact. Or maybe we can fast forward to where everything we lack has become something we can actually attract, and not just because we've picked up slack, but because systemic attacks are now a thing of the past, and we finally move past distractions that keep us worshipping cash. Sheep once shunned for being black, lead the pack, finally on the right path, but it seems so far away, and I'm always running late, tired of picking up the crumbs to piece together better days. It's way past 8. Always running late. Why can't I just get it together? Always trying not to fall apart. Why can't I just get it together? Swear I've got good intentions in my heart. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Some days it's hard to keep the tears at bay when you know you're just an actor in an elaborate play, but who's master of puppets and how can I break these chains? Every day I pray for some kind of change, a better way to cope than rage to this tragedy on stage. And if we're all just players, then these are all just remakes, paying homage to all of history's mistakes. Seems like things stay the same, and in this political game, lots of losses, little gains, but we don't give way. Attempting to erase our cultural ways does not succeed in erasing memories from veins, the fuel that propels and feeds our inner strength. And though some days this weight feels like it's too much to take, we have the fortunate fate to say, today we're awake, so take space, meditate, clear your mind state. Life may be a struggle, but it's also great, and on those days it feels harder to wake. Move at your own pace. And practicing self-care, sometimes energy you save, and it's okay if you're running late. Time, it's just a relative state. Distance versus space, a colonized mind frame. To time I can't relate. Don't care if I'm running late. Just trying to keep it together. Always trying not to fall apart. Swear I'm gonna get it together. Got good intentions in my heart. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's why she's always been one of my favorites. That's Celia Aguilar with Better Days. And with this podcast and people submitting stuff, we only hope for better days ahead. All right, so we're going to keep it going. We're going to switch it up. Our next performer has been a guest on this podcast before. In fact, when you have the chance, go all the way back to episode 16 and learn a little bit more about this artist, where she comes from, what she's been working on, and even hear more of her music. One of my favorite aspects of the open mic is always getting to meet new, talented, creative people, and this next performer is no exception. In fact, I met her on a Tuesday night. This is her song. It's called Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Calista.
Swirling inside my head, images from Tuesday night. Red and dark, black and grass. Stolen feelings from the kid with no chance. Will you give in, give in, give in? Wandering down this road, should know better than to go. The devil's paying close attention now. I've had it all, it's not enough somehow. Will I give in, give in, give in? How does it feel to know that it's me that's trying to show you the door? Hey. Would you care to know that I wanted you every single day? Just not that Tuesday. No. All that whiskey left, everybody, everyone was feeling just fine. The only reason why sleep was so good that night. High and light, skin on skin. I'm well aware the line I crossed wasn't so thin. Oh, yeah, I gave in, gave in, gave in. How does it feel to know that it's me that's trying to show you the door? Yeah. Would you care to know that I wanted you every single day? Just not that Tuesday. Don't ask, don't tell, don't look into my eyes. The couch is fine for my conscience. Do not, don't ask, don't tell, don't look into my eyes. The couch is just fine for my guilty conscience tonight. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. How does it feel to know that it's me that's about to walk right out the door? Where's the door? Would you care to know that I wanted you in every single way? Just not that Tuesday, no, no. It's not that Tuesday.
That was Calista and her song Tuesday off her album Beer for Breakfast. And after listening to that song just now, I remember now that she's another performer who, as soon as she went up to perform, amazed people. Everyone shut up and listened. That was a fateful Tuesday that she stopped by to check out the open mic from Las Cruces. She made the drive over, and she was there super early because she had heard that if you wanted to perform at my mic at a good time, you had to get there early, which is kind of true sometimes. But you know what? She's a very talented singer-songwriter. Check out her other stuff. You can follow her on Facebook. Just look up Calista Music. And she's also she's been playing shows in Las Cruces, in New Mexico. And she's also been running her own open mics. So check that out. Our next performer is a poet extraordinaire. Back in the days when we were doing poetry slams here in town, she was always, if she competed, she would always finish first or top 3 because she's that good. And so when I was getting into audio production, she was one of the many poets that, I would invite over to record audio for. And ultimately, I ended up working on a whole spoken word album with her. And it is online. You can look it up. It's called Slow Built, Joy Filled. And the artist, our awesome poet, is Melissa B. Austin. This is her poem called Love Buzz.
This is a love poem without question, for a love without questions. You make me feel like Christmas Eve, make me hear cellos humming beneath the streets. Everywhere I go, I'm dancing. Every moment I'm on fire. I think I'm contagious, and I've got something people want. Let's all share a drink. Y'all want to catch this shit, trust me. I keep catching the wishing time, and all I can say is your name, and soon every nerve and cord is taut and waiting. You pluck me so good I vibrate for days. My bones tremble and sing. You're in my veins rushing. My heart is drunk on you, but my feet feel steady. I change my mind. I do have questions like, how did we happen? How are you real? But the answer is always, of course, of course. You said this feels like climbing into bed, and yes, at the end of a long day. Let's never leave. Let's tangle the sheets. Let's eat each other up. Let's swallow all this light whole. All the lights are turning green. Everything is saying yes, this, go. What can we do but listen? You don't say no to the universe. We've both hurt so much. How did we learn to love so hard? How do our hearts still glow? Have we swallowed the same string of lights? Is it pulling us together? Come, let me love all the worry out of you. Come here and love all the bright back into me. Let's reap and sow, plant and help grow. Let's be tall trees side by side, and let's cross-pollinate. So romantic. We murmur with the breeze. You are soft and solid earth, the steadiest ground my feet have ever known. God, we've hurt so much, but maybe we can love so well, everything that was wrong will shrink in the face of so much right.
That was Love Buzz by Melissa B. Austin off her album of spoken word poetry, Slow Built, Joy Filled. All right, we're going to keep it going on that spoken word poetry tip. We're going to get a little acapella up in here. Our next performer is a well-respected MC. You may have seen him back in the day getting down with his band Riboflavin. Nowadays, they're Ribo Ruckus. But this guy is still bringing fire. It's always great to hear what he has to say. Here's an acapella piece by Rebel Agnostic.
I have a fountain pen cascading off a mountain of gems, while the sun, moon, and the stars are circling around in my head. A wise woman once said, it's not about the amount that you spend, and if you always do what you love, you'll continue to be surrounded by friends. And back then, that didn't make much sense. But now, I could tell what she meant. My friend Paul told me to live in the now instead of always trying to figure out how it'll end while keeping myself in suspense. That mindset helped me balance my steps, kept me grounded again, held down the foundation like a pound of cement. This is the house of Zen. And at the count of 10, everything out of my mouth will begin to blend in with the sound of the wind. Look at the most powerful, wealthiest men. No one is as cowardice or as selfish as them. In order to survive, you need to have a Teflon heart surrounded by elephant skin. Learn to speak in love and write in blood with the skeleton's pen.
There it is, short and sweet, packing a punch. That was Rebel Agnostic. In fact, if you want to learn more about him, check out the whole interview. That piece was recorded on episode 29, where we sit down and have a conversation with Rebel Agnostic. All right, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We still have plenty of show ahead of you, but if you're listening and realize that you want to share some of your work, please, I'm still, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'm still accepting content. And so if you have any audio recordings of your art, send it to us at bwoms915@gmail.com. Of course, BWOMS is BWOMS. You can also, if you, for whatever reason, you don't have an audio recording, we do have a hotline. That's right. Back in the day, about 2012, Roberto Santos, the former project director, my homie, who I took over for, he and I devised a whole poetry hotline. It was a number people could call and leave a voicemail of their poems. We got some pretty cool submissions, so I'm actually bringing that back for this project. If you guys have anything you want to say, any messages, just call us at 915-996-2141. Make sure to leave your name and the title of the piece. Maybe if you're calling from anywhere else in the world, let us know. And we look forward to your submissions. All right. But we're going to keep it going. Our next poet, our next performer is a homie. In fact, I feel like I wouldn't have been able to do as much with this podcast, have a wonderful space without this performer. He's an award-winning poet. That's right. His book, South Sun Rises, won the Southwest Book Award a couple years back, and that took him all sorts of great places. But right now, he's going to share a piece called Shrub. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Valentin Sandoval.
Shrub. The words I convert into a machete to help tread the path, cut the overgrown weeds through the tangled nerve center. I realign with the pattern of stars. I clear up the astrology in the shape of my toes. It's pure as a clump of my brown hair, as fresh as when my nephew first saw a bird flying and will eventually, one way or another, attempt to do the same. It's as unobtrusive and clear as the power and connection that my loved ones have tasted upon the kiss of the heat of another's soul. Finding the opening through the sage and rose thornbrush of my backyard spirit to discover that death comes like a sunrise and a sunset. And now it's time for early morning kisses and tasting tears from the sky running down their cheeks. They wait for the loved ones to arrive home. Quails are on wires heading north to south and south to north and back again, family bound by a love that doesn't have the words. They say it with the language of their eyes, of their work, of their voice, and the hope comes every so often so as not to disappear. We, the children, crying, searching for play and company. The elders are out plowing, picking, sowing, building. So God was the first babysitter, took my thumb out my mouth, only to tell me with a smile, this quest is going to be a painfully beautiful one.
Damn. That was Shrub by Valentin Sandoval. Make sure to check out his book, South Sun Rises, a bilingual poetic narrative of the borderlands. You can actually pick up a copy at Barnes & Noble or order it online. And just a quick note, want to be kept up to date with cool things going on, check out Power at the Pass. That is Valentin's current project. It's his book. It's a space. And if you haven't heard about it, yeah, you got to go check it out. Power at the Pass, Instagram, Facebook, follow. All right, we're going to keep going. In fact, we're going to go ahead and switch it back up and let's get some music. In fact, the next performer is a poet. She won a poetry slam. So back in the day, we did this thing called Frontera Poetry Slam. It was kind of birthed out of the necessity people wanted a space to perform. Prior to that, there was Freehold Slam, which was amazing, had some awesome poets. But as with time, people leave, can't run projects. It does take a lot to run something like this. And so in that space, Frontera Poetry Slam was created. And for a good while, we were having some really great events. If you're not familiar with a poetry slam, it's a poetry competition. Uh, people are chosen from the crowd to be judges, and they're given a scorecard, and kind of like the Olympics, poets get a score after their performance. Now, I know that maybe seems antithetical, but as we like to say in the slam scene, the point is not the points, the point is the poetry. The whole idea is just to really give a crowd and maybe give a little bit of a competitive edge, a little competitive spirit to poetry readings, which can be a lot of fun. Anyway, for a good while, the prize for winning this was a recording session with me. And so our next performer was one of those winners, and she decided to use that recording time to actually perform a song. It's a mashup, and it was really fun. We recorded this back in my apartment before I even had any kind of studio space. So, it's going to be a little bit more raw, but guys, I want you to enjoy this. It's amazing. This is a mashup of Sparrow and Clandestino by Sara Yinling.
Wake up, little sparrow. Don't build your house out in the snow. Don't build your house out in the snow. Little bird, don't you know your friends flew south many months ago? Your friends flew south many months ago. You're just a baby, you cannot fly. Don't spread your wings out in the sky. Don't spread your wings out in the sky. Wake up, little sparrow. Don't build your house out in the snow. Don't build your house out in the snow. Solo voy con mi pena, sola va mi condena. Correr es mi destino para burlar la ley. Perdido en el corazón de la grande Babilón. Me dicen el clandestino por no llevar papel. Para Ciudad del Norte yo me fui a trabajar. Mi vida la dejé entre Ceuta y Gibraltar. Soy una raya en el mar, fantasma en la ciudad. Mi vida va prohibida, dicen la autoridad. Solo voy con mi pena, sola va mi condena. Correr es mi destino para burlar la ley. Perdido en el corazón de la grande Babilón. Me dicen clandestino, yo soy el quebra ley.
All right, that was Sara Yinling, former Poetry Slam winner, and as you could tell right there, awesome singer. We're gonna continue with the whole Poetry Slam winner vibe, and our next performer also won first place at one of the Frontera Poetry Slams, and so the following recording came out of that. This is Nicko Kim, To Be a Writer.
Being a writer sucks. It's like being in a forced relationship with the succubus who snuck its kiss, because I'm now stuck with this talent that drains my soul. The only reason I write is because words explode out of me. It's not like I'm proud to be someone who understands and knows how to use words, because words are a curse that only offer a slight fixation. You could say that I write for self-asphyxiation, go blue to the face from suffocation just for the purpose of rhyme, assonance, and alliteration. But what's worse is that I was born to be a writer, born to learn and be consumed by the written language and those who've mastered it. Born to have a pen in my hand to put to paper endlessly into all hours whiling wistfully whilst writing, but every time I do, I come to a standstill. A standoff between my mind and my intentions, because it's come to my attention that I have nothing of worth to mention. But you could literally cut me open, and my literary blood would be black and blue ink begging to be used in a pen for writing words. And as I've bled on my pages and read poets throughout the ages, I've come to the realization that I'm nothing compared to greatness. So I ask myself, why do I continue to write? And I answer, because as I'm afflicted with this talent that torments and tortures me so, I'm given sweet relief when I relieve myself by finishing just another poem.
All right, and that was Nicko Kim. It's been really cool. He's actually made his way back to the open mics, so I look forward to hearing more from him. We're going to go ahead and get back to some music. It seems like a conjuring is upon us. If you're familiar with our next performer, you know what that means. He's been featured at the open mic several times. He performs all over town and even runs his own shows at the German pub. Ladies and gentlemen, with his song Oti, this is Boosty. Hopefully you guys were able to get lost in that. That was Oti by Boosty. Check him out online, Boosty. I'm always appreciative of him, his work, and also his support of the scene. He's one of the biggest supporters of other artists, and you always have to appreciate that. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get back into some poetry. This is one of my all-time favorite poets. She's been featured at the open mic a couple times, for sure. This is Nancy Lechuga.
Remedies by Nancy Lechuga. When life gives you locusts, make locust tacos and salsa roja. Welcome that damned plague, mija. Deep fry locusts. Make locust salad with queso fresco. Locust covered in chocolate. Locust with fresh corn and salsa. She is the Mexican Medusa. Sometimes her hair is víboras de cascabel. Sometimes fresh and snappy spring onions. and she'd say the darnest things, my mom. She's a goddess of clay. She's got diabetes and speaks with punctuation. You might know exactly who she is. Lo que no se me lo invento, she would say. She gave me the remedy for tear drought. Said to chop onions, place my cheek next to the knife, and purge. Last Christmas, she gave me a pound of onions and a pound of socks. She used to be able to give the best darn hugs. I walked in on her one day. She was in her pink princess bedroom, onion bits scattered around her, practicing calligraphy on nopalitos. I ran away and didn't speak to her for a year. She's too much like me, though I don't have the same bite. Our hands have the same crisscross wrinkle pattern, so I scratch my head with my mother's hands. I tell myself everything is going to be okay with my mother's lips, and tear cilantro leaves and wish for locusts. My own daughter has no idea what the heck to do with me. Dad left my mom, but she now lives in a bizcochito house. Says she's happier. Her lovers visit her from 3 to 5 on Wednesdays. Kicks them out before the sun goes down, so they won't want dinner. It all starts with them wanting dinner. Then you're breaking out of prison with your bare teeth. How do you think my front tooth got chipped? My own daughter has no idea what to do with me, so she chops onions. And my teeth are chipped too, mommy.
All right, and that was Nancy Lechuga and her poem Remedies. She submitted several poems, and you'll be hearing more of them as the episodes go on. It's also an easy transition to our next performer, Luis Camberos, her husband. And Luis has become a good friend of mine. When he first moved to El Paso via the military, he was very active in the open mics, the barbed wire open mic scene. And, you know, I think he's always been a crowd favorite. People would request songs, and if he couldn't make it, people would ask where he was. He's a really good guy, honestly. If you have a chance to check out more of his music, I know he's working on that. But right now, here is a Sufjan Stevens cover called Futile Devices.
It's been a long, long time since I memorized your face. It's been 4 hours now since I wandered through your place. And when I sleep on your couch I feel very safe. And when you bring the blankets I cover up my face. I do love you, I do love you. And when you play guitar I listen to the strings buzz. Then I vibrates underneath your fingers. And when I see your paintings I'm mesmerized and proud. And I will say I love you, but saying it out loud is hard, so I won't say it at all. And I won't stay very long. But you are the light I needed all along. I think of you as my lover, although that sounds dumb. And words are futile devices.
Right on. Once again, that was Luis Camberos. And I want to thank him for submitting that song. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know if you guys have listened all the way through or skipped around, but either way, I do appreciate you guys listening. This is the first episode, so I'll try and work out any kinks that, I figure out along the way. If you guys have any feedback, please let me know. That's always kind of one of the most important steps of any creative process, right? Is the feedback portion. So please, if you have any comments, let me know. Maybe I MC too much. That is a problem of mine. I can be a bit verbose, a little wordy. But you know what? I'm going to use this opportunity to change the tone. Luis had a very smooth song. Our next song, though, is a little rougher, a little louder. It's a different genre, really. It's a submission from Lefty Lucy of Lefty and the Cronies. And it's a brief song about the panic surrounding everything that's been going on. This song is called Lefty and the Cronivirus. There you go. That was Lefty and the Cronies, song about survival. Thank you for that submission. If you guys are listening, follow them online. We're going to go ahead and continue with another submission we received online. Our next performer is an El Pasoan who pursued her musical dreams that took her to LA to record. This is called Summer Storm by Ana Marie Rosales.
Little rain has to fall by and by, all along. Thunder roll, I heard your call. Little rain has to fall.
That was Summer Storm by Ana Maria Rosales. It's good to know she's back in El Paso. And also, that was a sneak peek. She's working on her album. It's still in production. But we got a little sneak peek right there of that song. So thank you for submitting that. As I mentioned before, one of my favorite things about, the open mics is the eclectic nature, right? You're going to get a lot of content from a variety of people from different backgrounds producing different sounds. And we just heard a little bit of that from our last performers and really the whole show. So there aren't too many more performers left. I don't want to go on too long. Our next performer also submitted content online. She is a lifelong El Paso poet. This is from Andi, Lora, Castillo.
Wasn't it Emily Dickinson who said, "I'm nobody, how are you?" Or was it Steve Spiros, Dorothy Parker, and her little dog too? I can read minds, can't you tell? I'm smarter than Satan. He stayed in hell. Steal my words? I don't care. I'll just kill you and swallow air. That's all words are anyway. Like matter, and America just gets fatter and fatter.
All right, and that was poet Andi Lora Castillo. Again, I thank her for her submissions. She made several, so expect to hear more from her in the upcoming episodes. We're going to go ahead and switch it up, end the show with some music. This was submitted by Anima, who is a student majoring in philosophy and minoring in commercial music. This is a song that was inspired by Bernie Sanders and his movement. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for listening to the show. I want to encourage you guys to stay strong, keep creating. Again, if you want to submit to the podcast, you know how to do that. You can email us at bwoms915@gmail.com. You can contact us through any of our social media. We can help you through that. You can also submit via our hotline. Call 915-996-2141. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and end the show with this track from our friend Anima. This is called Not Me, Us.
If we are serious about rebuilding the American middle class, if we are serious about reinvigorating American democracy, we need to develop a political movement which once again is prepared to take on and defeat a ruling class whose greed is destroying our nation.